Hello everybody, my name is Michael, coach of the Green Bay Pachirisus, and I am here joining you for a very special draft battle analysis. We have Jake, coach of the Miami Dolphins, versus Alex, coach of the Mighty Sonics, and boy oh boy do I have a very exciting battle. Jake, the current board, he is 6-0 right now, undefeated in the draft, the only player that is undefeated, versus Alex, who's 4-2, so he's gotten 4 wins, 2 losses. Just before this battle, I was there to spectate. He was feeling very, how should I say, unenthusiastic, very pessimistic about this match. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose. I'm not gonna win. Like, I'm not feeling it." And I'm like, "Look, I understand. Going against the undefeated champion of the draft, whatever. Like, if you win, if you lose, you lose. But I know you got this." I was hyping him up, and I was very excited to give you guys this battle. So let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna discuss the plays here and everything, the thought process that I believe is going behind these battlers as they go at it in this Week 8 match. So let's jump right into it. Drake leaves off with his trusty Tyranitar and the odd lead belly bolt here from Alex. And really quick, this is this is quite the interesting play. He swaps out into the Slitherwing, obviously because it's a fighting type, and Tyranitar goes Stealth Rock. So Jake must have thought, oh, you know, no, seeing is how Alex is normally led, probably would have led with a Zoroark, but he swapped out. So maybe it's not a Zoroark. He smished him up with his match, and then the close combat does kill the Tyranitar, and then, you know, we're like, well, I guess that's the T-Tar gone, and the Slitherwing switches out, and back into the belly bolt, and Dragapult gets a nice Will-O-Wisp off on the belly. So now, oh no, all those physical attacks. U-turn, then pops the the illusion, and then the Zoroark is revealed. I think Alex wanted me to mention this, but he did lead Zoroark, but he probably just didn't have like fighting coverage, because the only fighting move that Hisuian Zoroark gets is Focus Blast, which is 70 accuracy, so he probably didn't want to go for that. And I guess it had like Brick Break, but I don't think Alex has ever run physical Zoroark before, and I don't think this would change anything. So yeah, it was so weird. He faked them out. Like at the end, they were talking. They're like, "I thought that you were going to switch. I thought you had the Zoroark lead, but since he switched out, I guess it was like, oh, I guess he's not lead Zoroark, but he was, and he just swapped." So very, very funny, interesting plays. The Shadow Ball coming out. Jake with the read goes into Ursaring, who is immune to Ghosts. So that's really smart. And then the chip Grass Knot does only 17%, and then Stomping Tantrum just kills. That makes me curious, because if he had Grass Knot, he probably could have done it onto the Tyranitar, and it would have done, like, I think, without special investment and the Sand Up, it would have done like 50%. So he could have like went for that. And if it was lead, it probably had Focus Sash, but we don't know because he took a hit. Whatever. Out comes the Slitherwing yet again, and then into the Iron Moth with the U-turn. Nice. And then back into the Whiscash. Thankfully, we know that this is not a nasty plot Whiscash, because the Zoroark did die. And Jake, prepping for this, has the Energy Ball to kill it, knock it out in one hit with that quad weakness to grass. So that was really well played. Back into the Slitherwing, and here we see that the Slitherwing is indeed faster than the Iron Moth, which meant that it was Choice Scarfed all along. That's crazy. As we can see, the speed tiers here. Only 287 max from the Slitherwing versus 350 I don't think there was any reason why the Iron Moth would be not max speed. You know, it would probably be speed crept to match the highest speed with this Zoroark here, which is the exact same speed. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy that he Slitherwing actually outsped. Does knock it out with the Earthquake, and the Iron Moth goes down. And out into Cloyster here. Now that we know it's Scarfed, he has to switch out into the Belly Bolt, and then Cloyster gets a nice free Shell Smash. And with the White Orb that we see all the time in random battles, or at least I used to see all the time. And then Terrasilize into Ground type and does 87. That's ×2 attack. Cloyster probably running max attack. Terra Ground, so it's Stab, Drill Run, and it only does 87%. Now I did calc this here. Let me pull it out. I believe if the Belly Bolt was not running max defense, that's max HP, max defense EVs, in a defense and boosting nature, it would have actually killed, like been a one-hit KO. But with all that, the defense, the HP, the defensive nature, all that, it would have actually lived. And that we see it did 87, it would have done like 80 to 90%. And even better, the static paralyzes the Belly Bolt, or the Cloyster. That's crazy! The 30%, instead of running, what is it called, Electromorphosis, he goes for static Belly Bolt. And then that does actually come in clutch and paralyzes the Cloyster, so now it's back to its normal speed anymore. And then Terra Flying, unfortunately that does not matter because Icicle Spear. And then here we have the Mimikyu with Swords Dance and the Paralysis from Cloyster coming in. And the lucky crit! These last three turns were insane. Swords Dance gets the free Swords Dance, so it didn't pop the disguise, and then the Cloyster gets paralyzed, and then the lucky crit, which did actually matter because it only did like 80 to 90%. The crit did actually matter, got the one-hit KO, preserving its disguise. Unfortunately, the U-turn comes out and does lose, break its disguise, but who cares? It doesn't matter. Playrough is still chumping through hits. Look at that. That's a life. That's probably an Eviolite boosted Ursaring here, and that did 70%. That's so strong. Oh my god. I think he was trying to switch out into. He was predicting a swap back into Dragapult, so he went for the Shadow Sneak, which is immune to Ursaring. Ursaring is immune to that, so. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. And then the Stomping Tantrum only doing 36%. Not quite sure what the play was there. Actually, I could go over the play or the build here. All right, so we see here that the Ursaring. This is the Ursaring that Jake was running. I don't know the EV spread, but this is at least the moveset. So I'm guessing it's Eviolite because of Ursaluna in. So now he gets the Eviolite boost to the defenses. It was Rest, Sleep Talk, Stomping Tantrum, and Swords Dance. So the Rest was there to bring it back up to HP. Guts, it activates the Guts ability. And then Sleep Talk, so that he can use its move. Stomping Tantrum, because if he goes for Rest during the Sleep Talk, then Stomping Tantrum would be boosted. And if it gets Swords Dance, then it just boosts his attack even more. That's already a really insane set. And then the plus attack coming out, that's going to make it even stronger. If you don't know, Stomping Tantrum, its power doubles if the last move it used failed. So obviously Sleep Talk and then Rest. If Sleep Talk chooses Rest, then it fails, and then if it chooses Stomping Tantrum, that's a 150 ground type move. Alex does not have any ground immune Pokemon, so Stomping Tantrum was free, and then the Swords Dance obviously is just to boost attack if it chooses that, which makes it even scarier. So yeah, that was a really interesting play. I don't know why Jake didn't choose Rest right here. he was at 7%. Maybe he thought that he would have just died, so he just went for Stomping Tantrum. Because then we see here, yeah, it's definitely faster than it, so he probably just wanted to go for damage. We see here that the play rough does come out, and then it kills the Ursaring. And then back into Dragapult, really smart play here. Back into Sylveon, the Shadow Sneak not killing, and the Mimikyu dies to chip damage. So the whole play was just to get Mimikyu to use a weaker move so that the Sylveon is more healthy. Very smart. And have you lost it? No! You have not lost yet. You are in the midst of winning. Look at that Iron Head. Look at that. Sucker Punch? Oh, okay, well, the Sucker Punch did fail. And the burn, you know, Jake trying to squeeze every last inch out. And the Sucker Punch only doing 71%. Not quite killing yet. But the Life Orb chip does end its stock. And there we go. We have it. The first loss that Jake suffers is at the hands of Alex, who has an amazing draft overall. Very, very lucky, honestly. I don't think the match would have ended that cleanly if Static didn't proc on the Cloyster when it did, and then if Mimikyu got its disguise busted earlier, it probably would have died sooner. But he still had a Choice Scarf Slitherwing, who could have just spammed Earthquake, and a King Gambit here. So that would have, yeah, the King Gambit with its Supreme Overlord ability does actually make things a problem for Jake. Overall, very well played from both players. This was an amazingly hype match to watch in person. The suspense was absolutely killing me, as you can see from the sidelines here. Yeah, this was such a fun battle to watch and to commentate over, and now the score has been set. Jake's first loss. Alex feeling a huge confidence boost after this week. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of all of our players in our draft league. We've grown so much. So much of us have learned and experienced so much through this. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Anyways, that will do it for this week's draft battle analysis. And I'll catch you guys next time.